And go.
Ready, set,
Go.
welcome
Good morning,
to the.
everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go. You said Akuna Matata right before we went. What does that mean?
It means no worries
Okay, so is that a real language?
for the rest of your days.
Do you think that's a real language?
I don't know that much.
Hey Google, is Kuna Matata a real language?
According to Wikipedia, Hakuna Matata is a Swahili language
Swahili.
Swahilian. It's
Swahili.
okay. That's enough. Google. Sometimes Google goes on way too long and gives me lip, and it angers me inside.
That means you have deeper issues.
I probably have deeper issues if Google is causing me to react.
You should read a daily reflection and get grounded spiritually.
Get grounded?
Yeah.
Just like you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. When I grow up, I want to be just like you.
Oh no.
You know what I've been thinking about?
What?
Is how do we how do you get away? How do you do vacation or a getaway in a pandemic or in a
You don't.
lockdown? I feel like I want to get away for a week somewhere. Like I was recently sick in bed for a week, and so
recently, that was over a year ago.
No,
at the beginning. I was 2 weeks
you
with
don't
your
even
face.
Remember
Forgot about your
my
face.
Pain and my suffering.
Forgot about your face. Sorry.
So and then we had a board meeting, and the board meeting they like to check up on me and make sure I'm doing okay. And so they said, "Have you been able to take any time off?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I was just in bed for a week. It was awesome. It's kind of boring." And they're like, "When you're sick, that doesn't count as time off." And I was like, "How do you get like?" We don't have a cottage. We don't have anywhere to go really. But like, that's what I feel like doing. We need to go away somewhere.
There's literally nowhere to go.
We could get a cottage. We could buy a cottage.
I don't even know.
Or a trailer.
Well, not right.
We could sell our house and buy a trailer and move into the trailer park.
Did you just see someone's post on Facebook?
No.
Oh.
Who? What?
I'm not going to name.
No, tell me.
No, there's people that bought a new van. I saw a van? Yeah. And then they did a blog post. And they have many, many, many children. And then they bought an RV to pull in their van, and they booked a campsite this summer, like on the other side of the country.
Like in BC?
Yeah.
Or the East
And they're going to, I think.
Are you even allowed to drive across the country?
So currently, there's certain provinces that you're allowed to drive through, but you're not allowed to stop.
You can't stop and take a pee.
You can't stop in Manitoba right now, I don't think.
No Manitoba.
But you can drive across Manitoba in a day, like less than a day. Yeah.
Can you do that in
Just keep driving. You could watch your dog run away all day too.
Saskatchewan, can you drive through a day?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the biggest one to drive through, Quebec or Ontario?
Okay, these are getting to be hard questions. I feel like we shouldn't.
I think we answered these questions.
I think we shouldn't. I know we shouldn't ask each other questions like math problems or like
geography,
definitions,
history. No, we have Google.
Geography.
We obviously know how to use Google.
It would depend on the restrictions. So currently, like personally, I wouldn't want to go anywhere right now. If I did go somewhere, like I'd want to go prepared. Well, yeah, if I went prepared and like brought everything with me, but I kind of respect the fact that, like, for instance, I lost the town. Anyway, there's like towns, right, that are very touristy. And so they don't want like everyone coming from other places and shopping in their town. And I want to be respectful to that. So
even in grocery shopping?
Yeah. I think that that's really frowned upon right now. In our current, and especially in the current stay-at-home order, right? That goes till May 20th.
But then did you hear about the staycations? Everybody talks about staycation. So then how do you do staycationing well without like painting a wall or doing some sort of reno?
I only have one comment about staycation.
What?
I don't want to say it on air.
Are you going to swear?
No. I just think that sometimes it would be nice just to go away, the two of us.
Are you talking about your dogs and your boy? That's okay. I feel like you've designed your life to be a staycation.
My life is currently a staycation.
Yeah.
It's lovely. So I don't feel any need to go anywhere.
You have your gondola in the backyard?
Yes.
Not gondola. What is it? Caribbean?
I do understand
Carabina?
That for you, a change of rhythm of life, like that's the whole point, right? Is to change the rhythm of your life and to take a kind of a longer Sabbath, basically, would be
we could do.
It's like you don't even hear me talking.
No, longer Sabbath. I hear you talking. Just keep talking. What you could do is put a big pole in the back, like a telephone pole, like one of those 50-footers, and then put pegs so you could climb up and a zip line right across the field. That would be fun. And then we have fun in our backyard, and then we got our sitting area in the front yard.
So is this about you wanting to have fun?
I don't know what it's about. My board just said being sick isn't a vacation.
It's not. That's not a vacation.
If anybody has any vacation ideas, whether it's stay home, I don't know.
It's not a vacation.
Ideas? All right.
They're not wrong.
I'm not right, but I'm not wrong. All right. Let's get going. Let's get going on our morning.
You want me to read today? So our morning.
What day is it?
Our morning meditation.
Even day. You're today's even day. I'm the odd days.
Today is April 22nd. It is Thursday, and there is snow on the ground on April 22nd.
Just a light dusting.
Just a dusting.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go somewhere, and I have to clean off the car. I'm surprised. I didn't expect to have to clean off the car.
Maybe if you wait long enough, it'll
true.
clean itself off.
So, coping with stress. Inevitably, there are times of stress in our lives, no matter how long we've been in recovery. Sometimes the stress is outside or around us. We're feeling balanced, but our circumstances are stressful. Sometimes the stress is within and we feel out of balance. When the stress is external and internal, we experience our most difficult times. During stressful times, we can rely more heavily on our support systems. Our friends and groups can help us feel more balanced and peaceful in spite of our stressful conditions. Affirming that the events taking place are a temporarily uncomfortable part of a good, solid plan can help. We can assure ourselves that we will get through. We won't be destroyed. We won't crumple or go under. Word. It helps to go back to the basics, to focus on detachment, dealing with our feelings, and taking life one day at a time. Our most important focus during times of stress is taking care of ourselves. We are better able to cope with the most irregular circumstances. We are better able to be there for others if we're caring for ourselves. We can ask ourselves regularly, what do we need to do to take care of ourselves? What might help us feel better or feel more comfortable? Self-care may not come easily during times of stress. Self-neglect may be more comfortable, but taking care of ourselves always works. Prayer for today. I will remember that there is no situation that can't be benefited by taking care of myself.
One day at a time. I think that whole one day at a time, I totally agree with it. I don't stay sober one day at a time. I don't deal with my problems one day at a time, but I connect to God every day in the morning to go, I need to connect with God every day to overcome the stress of my life, the things that weigh me down, the things that are coming at me. God takes care of those things if I stay close to him. Mm-hmm. And so daily, I have to do that through prayer, meditation, through self-awareness, to bring things to God, to turn away from those things and passing on the message. That's what the goal is. And then I thought of, when you talked about stress, I was thinking about a building. And I remember the founder of Jericho Road, I think it was a couple times, but one time in particular, we went up to his cottage, and he has an older wood cottage, a big cottage. It's not like it was a big cottage, and there was so much snow that you couldn't even open the doors in the cottage. So you couldn't even close the bathroom door. You couldn't get the pantry door open.
Wow.
And there was so much stress on the building, on the structure, that we went up to have a vacation and with shovels. And so there was I think 6 of us, and we shoveled off the roof, and the snowbanks, after we were shoveled, you just had to jump on them. That's how much snow was on the roof. There was probably, I would say, 5 feet of snow on the whole roof. And so we shoveled it off, and you could open the doors. And so I think my recovery program and what I read in the Bible and in our plan of action is not coping with stress, but actually being free of stress. And there's going to be stressors, and there's going to be stuff that come along, but am I free of that? Is the roof on the structure that God has built for me in this new life, is it free of obstacles? Is it free of, I don't just have to cope with all this weight on the roof. I actually become free of that weight of the roof. So I think that's what I thought of today.
I think that's an interesting concept when you have, but yeah. And so I think applying that though, yeah, that feels, because, there's people that have like really challenging circumstances. Maybe they have a spouse who's gotten really sick, or, extra challenges in their life. And so, yeah, what does that look like? That these are the things that are going on around me, but how are they not my burden to carry?
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's lots of stressors. And so there's fear that pops up. There's anger that pops up. All of those things, there's outside circumstances. But if I'm reacting to it, then I'm starting to begin to let that control me.
So reacting meaning like
that I'm coming under its power.
Right. But there's often action required, right? If I have a disabled child, or if I have a very sick husband, or if I'm living in an addicted a relationship that's addicted, or I have a child that's addicted, or, there's all these different like circumstances, or I have a business that's failing. So you're not talking about not taking action, but you're talking about like reacting as in being just like, yeah,
I'm talking about the internal. So am I letting stress consume me, or do I just cope with it? Is it a behavior mechanism? Am I just coping, or am I actually free? Because it's about the freedom inside. Whatever the world throws at me, it doesn't matter. It's like, I get that story of Jesus in the boat and the storm is there. Like, there's always going to be a storm. Is it going to consume me? Is it going to like take over my life? Is there
going to be a storm though? Because Jesus calmed the storm.
Yeah, there's always going to be a storm. Like the storm, our lives are not null and void of storms.
Right.
Whether that's a sick child, whether that's death in the family, whether that's sickness on my body, but am I letting it consume me? And if I'm letting things consume me, my ego quickly builds itself, and I start to distance myself from God. And so even in jail, a man can be free.
As I stay close to God, he becomes the one who is taking care of things, giving me the right wisdom, giving me the right thought or action, as opposed to me trying to do it on my own.
So God gives us the power to be able to overcome these things and defeat them. And so I don't think that we just have to cope.
But by defeating them doesn't mean that they're going to necessarily go away.
No.
It's that they won't, the outside circumstances won't control
that
me.
I will have a happy, joyous, and free inside of me, even though I'm sitting at the hospital every day with a dying person, or with all of the things that this world has to throw at me.
Yeah.
I think of like the guy that gets sober in jail and then finds Jesus and reads the Bible. He's like literally free in jail. You can still be free in jail, but the circumstance actually hasn't even changed. So it's about like, this is a personal relationship with me and God. And so I don't think that just coping is what I'm supposed to do, just putting these behavioral mechanisms. But I really think that Jesus gives me the power to shovel off the roof of the snow so that I can actually walk freely in the house.
Good.
Maybe we'll get to practice about stress today. There's a lot of stress. I know for me that Facebook hasn't been a good friend. I know that
Facebook has not been a good friend to me.
Not taking care of my physical, and I have been now for the last couple weeks. I know that the news has not been my friend, and I start to get worked up. And those are just simple things, but just eliminating that stuff in my life actually brings peace and actually draws me closer to God. And then I start to be able to be his employee instead of getting frustrated and trying to cope with the stress that I put.
And I did pick up on that in the reading too, that there was a part where it's like where she was saying rely more heavily on our support systems. And, I felt like, man, you can tap into some people around you. You don't want to be alone, but like, don't rely on people to carry you through hard times. That's not going to be enough. And people will let you down, especially not Facebook. No one even knows if you've deleted your Facebook account.
Mm.
They don't even notice. Like
Hey!
they are not. Facebook as an entity is not your friend. And so I really think that yeah, I think that was like a really important point of like, there is a power greater than me that actually has the power to clean the snow off the roof and help me walk through.
May you find that power today. If you need help finding that power, we have a program called LifeLab. It's 17 weeks. It's all online. We're all online now. We're so techy. If you want to join that, just click the link below.
It was really neat to have a couple new people at our LifeLab noon meeting yesterday.
Yeah.
And one of them was like private messaging me and saying she just finished LifeLab doing the course and how much she loved it and how much it changed so much for her. And now she's doing a deeper dive into exploring what is codependency. And she's going to be doing a study on codependency. And I was like, that's a great idea. LifeLab is a really great starting, like it's such a good tool for learning
and growing and being able to be rid of some of that self. And for me, it's a constant journey.
Things, that we can keep working on. Have a great day, friends.
Great afternoon. Wash your hands, keep the peace, and be of good behavior.
Susan really liked your zipline idea.
See, you minimize my ideas. Like, you just don't see my brilliance. All right. Have a great afternoon, everyone.